Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to do all of my 5-star predictions for 2022. These are not books that are coming out in 2022. These are just things that I hope to read. I am notoriously bad about knowing when things are coming out, so I don't even bother trying. These are books that I am interested in and think I will absolutely love. So the first book on this list is A Chorus Rises. I wanted to get to several of these this year and I just didn't. This is the sequel to A Song Below Water, a very weird story about two sisters. One is a siren and one we don't really know her, and some weird things are going on in her town, or their town rather. People are like seemingly turning to stone, and in addition to that, this is during the height of the BLM movement, and one of the sisters has seen her favorite YouTuber coming forward and standing in protests. And this story really is about finding your voice. It's about sisterhood. It's standing up for who you are and what you want, and familial ties, finding out who you are, who you belong to, and all that kind of stuff. But it's very weird, very weird. I don't think people are expecting how weird it is when they go in, but it's still fantastic, and I'm excited for the sequel with how the first one ended. Very interested. So then we have the Obelisk Gate. This is the second book in the Broken Earth trilogy, and the first one was a 4-star because I felt like the ending was a little bit slow, which is like not the usual complaint, but this is a pretty complex fantasy series about people who can control the tectonic plates, and they are essentially subservient to non-magic users. And I don't know who you're going to be following in the second one, but in the first one you are following 3 points of view. A woman who is missing her daughter. It seems as if her husband has killed their son and taken their daughter, and she is on the hunt for her. You're also following a girl who seems to be in some sort of school, a young girl who's in a school for people that can use magic. And then the third one is a you perspective, so speaking in second person. Very interesting. The reveal at the end, I will say, blew me out of the water, and the world building is fantastic. Again, I don't know what the second one is all going to entail, but I'm excited to get into it. We then have Empire of Gold. That is the third and final book in the Davabad trilogy, and I'm very excited to read the conclusion. This is a Middle Eastern inspired story about Jen and compassion and fighting oppressors and overthrowing the government and magic with lyrical writing. Absolutely beautiful, and I'm excited for the conclusion. So then we will get into my anticipated 5-star romances for what I'm hoping to read in 2022. The first thing that I'm excited to read is Electric Idol. I'm not quite sure when this will be out. I'll put it right here. But this is the second book in the Neon Gods. I'm not quite sure what the series is called. I absolutely loved the first one. The first one was a Persephone and Hades retelling, and this seems to be a very loose retelling of Greek mythology, and it connects to her Sabine Valley series. I don't know much about this one. I've heard the names mentioned of who it's going to be, but I just cannot recall from the top of my head. But I loved the first one. It was just the right amount of gritty that I wanted, and I'm hoping we'll get a little bit more of that world building that we might have been missing in the first one. So then we have Scoundrel of My Heart by Lorraine Heath. This is the first book in the Once Upon a Dukedom series. This was recently released, yes, in March of 2021, and this will be my first Lorraine Heath. So this is about Catherine Lambert, who needs to marry a duke, and she has found a duke that will marry her. However, she had a previous fling with the duke's brother, Griffith, who has now come back as a force to be reckoned with, and she is unable to control her passions. So we'll see how that happens. This cover is absolutely stunning. Then we have Hunting Adaline. I will be reading this with a special someone for a very exciting surprise, but this is a stalker romance. That's all I know. That's all I need to know. it's probably going to be 5 stars. Then we have Addicted to You. This has been recently making its rounds again. As far as I know, it's about a hero and a heroine. One is addicted to alcohol, one is addicted to sex, and they are kind of using each other to feed their addictions without their family knowing. I know it's like a whole series. People seem to love it, and I'm expecting all of the angst. The next 5-star prediction that I have is In Bed with a Highlander by Maya Banks. This sounds as if it's a marriage of convenience between Ewan and Marin after she saves him, and he needs his clan saved, so I'm assuming maybe she has some money or something along those lines. Next up is Hello Stranger. This is the next book in the Ravenel series. If you have been following my Ravenel journey, I have given the last 2 books that I read, Marrying Winterborn and The Devil in Spring, 5 stars. The Devil in Spring was one of the best romances that I read in 2021, and I'm very excited for this book. I'm excited for all of the Ravenel books, and I'm expecting great things. I love this this series. This one in particular follows a doctor that works for Winterborn and Ethan, who is a former detective of Scotland Yard. We saw a little bit of a hint of their relationship in Devil in Spring. I'm sorry, in Marrying Winterborn, and I'm very, very excited. Garrett, the doctor, Garrett is very wily and very strong. She's like one of the first women to get a PhD in medicine, and so she's battling a lot of prejudice, and I'm very excited to read their romance. And then we have one that was kind of an oddball selection just because I don't really know much about this. I don't really know much about this series in general, but I have read another book by this author and absolutely adored it. So we have Bad Boy Blues. This is the 0.5 in the St. Mary's Rebels series. I read The Unrequited by Saffron A. Kent and absolutely loved it. And this is about Cleopatra and Zachary, and it sounds like they have a hate relationship and they live in the same house. So I'm expecting all the angst. Saffron A. Kent is a fantastic author, and I am very excited to explore more from her. And then the last book that I have is probably my most anticipated on this list, aside from Hello Stranger, and that is Scandalous Desires. This is the next book in the Maiden Lane series. If you don't know, the Maiden Lane series is essentially a like dark, gritty historical romance, all set in St. Giles, and it follows like this vigilante plot line. And this one is about a pirate. And I'm very excited. It's also Silence's book, which I'm very excited for. She kind of got fucked by her ex-husband in the first couple of books, and I'm excited to see her romance with the pirate, who has just been so interesting throughout the series, and I'm excited to get into that one. So those are my 5-star predictions for 2022. Leave your comments down below on your predictions, what you are excited to get into, what you think will be a 5-star for you. I would love to know. Next year we will revisit this list, and hopefully they were all 5 stars, but that is going to be it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one.
Sitting in silence, we still feel the vibe, and you could not say a word, and I know what you just decided. We'd be right in the same wave. Oh, the water's perfect, babe.